This week, a new homeless shelter will open its doors in East Madison. A closer look at what the shelter is offering. Plus, the rhetoric between Russia and the U.S. continues to escalate President Biden's latest warning. This is News 3 now at noon, and we begin with weather. Let's head over to the Weather Center. Greg Barnard has some severe weather in our area.
Yeah, it's actually almost exiting the area right now. That we got some thunderstorms that came through with the front right now. If you look at the radar right now, we still have a few tornado warnings going on at the time. Most of this is because of a line associated with the cold front that's pushing southeast. It's kind of an embedded, so it's actually going about 45 miles per hour right now. There's still radar indicated on these two areas, so nothing has been observed in the ground. But if you look at the velocity right now, what you're looking for is these little kinks in the line. And right now near Elkhorn, they got a little bit of a kink right down there too, and several to the north too. However, it's a lot of straight line winds also with this, so gust up to 45, even maybe a 50-knot wind in this line as it pushes associated with the cold front to the southeast. But that's what they're warning on, is these kinks that are along the lines that could spin up a quick tornado. So as that progresses eastward and gets out of the area, we're going to probably see more light rain that's been overall past the cold front. That's going to start ending here fairly soon as we see more. There we go. You can kind of see we're getting a break after this rain, and then we'll probably see another line of showers and thunderstorms, isolated thunderstorms developing from stuff that you can kind of see in Minnesota that's going to trek through this afternoon and evening, and that's what we're going to kind of look for. And again, Futurecast kind of shows that line coming at the west towards like 3 to 4 p.m. towards the Mississippi River. The other stuff begins to push east and across the area, so we won't be dealing with much of that for the next few minutes here. Otherwise, current temperatures right now are holding steady around 50. We might warm up a few degrees, but we're not going to really climb much above that. We'll probably stay steady in the afternoon. Dane County looks like overall 50s. Our highs we kind of already saw today. We might climb up a little bit, but right now these were kind of more late this morning. We're going to see temperatures fall down. So this afternoon we'll see a break after this rain shield moves to the east. Then we'll probably see redevelopment of showers later this afternoon, hitting the Madison area probably closer towards the evening hours, rush hour time. Temperatures overall. So that's what we're looking at right now. We'll keep you updated, but right now the severe threat seems to be pushing east. It should be ending here probably with the next hour, and like I said, it's just winds associated with that line that's coming through.
All right, we'll get back to you if we need to. Thank you, Greg. A new homeless shelter will open its doors on the east side tomorrow for roughly 200 people experiencing homelessness. The new location is on Zaire Road near the East Town Mall. It'll take over as the city's homeless shelter after the First Street location closes Thursday morning. The new shelter will have around 200 beds, dining spaces, and COVID isolation rooms. It may be a touch smaller than the previous location, but city officials say the new space was built with actual people in mind.
Bathrooms being one of the most main changes that is so important to human decency, making people feel comfortable, and really just having the space to have, necessities, right? So showers, bathrooms, and having the space.
The Zaire Road shelter will serve as a temporary location until mid-2025, when the city of Madison expects to open a permanent shelter on Bartland Drive. 5 days, day 5 that is, of the Darrell Brooks trial began with more witness testimony. Stephanie and Adam Bonesteel took the stand this morning. The two were participating in the parade when Brooks drove through. They told the jury they remembered headlights coming toward them, and then Brooks's SUV hitting Stephanie's co-worker, Jane Coolidge, who later died. The courtroom was briefly cleared just before noon because of those tornado warnings in Waukesha. Testimony will continue throughout the day. You can follow along and watch a live stream of the trial on channel3000.com and on our Facebook and YouTube pages. A 16-year-old boy is in custody after a rollover crash that killed a 14-year-old girl in Barron County. It happened north of Cameron Monday night around 7. Deputies say the 16-year-old was driving under the influence of a controlled substance and speeding when he lost control of the car. The 14-year-old later died. 2 other teens were hospitalized with serious injuries.
It was chaotic. I mean, there was pieces, parts everywhere. I mean, just the rescue EMT, they did a great job. They were on right when they got there, and it's just scary.
The teen who died was a student of a Rice Lake area school district. In a statement, the district said staff members will be available for students who need support. Tensions between the U.S. and Russia are heating up. In a recent interview, President Biden said he believes Russian President Putin miscalculated his invasion. Serena Marshall has the latest.
Leaving the White House, President Biden blasted Russia this morning for its latest assault on civilian infrastructure in Ukraine.
It's beyond the pale.
The remarks follow an interview with CNN where the president sent a pointed warning to Russian President Vladimir Putin over his possible use of nuclear weapons.
He, in fact, cannot continue with impunity to talk about the use of a tactical nuclear weapon as if that's a rational thing to do. The mistakes get made, and the miscalculation could occur. No one can be sure what would happen, and it could end in Armageddon.
In the interview, President Biden also said he believes Putin miscalculated the invasion of Ukraine significantly. Today, the Kremlin fired back. In a statement, they called the president's interview harmful and provocative. Ukraine says since Monday, more than 100 Russian missiles have been fired on the country. At a meeting at NATO headquarters Wednesday, U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said the attacks have only deepened the resolve of Ukraine and its allies.
The whole world has just seen yet again the malice and cruelty of Putin's war of choice. We will continue to boost Ukraine's defensive capabilities for today's urgent needs and for the long haul.
The attacks followed a blast over the weekend on a strategic bridge connecting Russia and Crimea. This morning, Russian intelligence services said 8 people have been arrested in connection with the explosion. Serena Marshall, CBS News, the White House.
And Ukraine has asked G7 leaders for more advanced air defense systems. It has already received the first of 4 shipments from Germany, and U.S. leaders are working to speed up delivery of its advanced air defense systems. According to the latest CNN poll, President Biden's approval rating has gone up. It shows his overall job approval rating stands at 44% now, up from 38% this summer. People are still worried about the economy, though, with most rating economic conditions somewhat poor or very poor. Nearly half of the people polled say they expect the economy will be in good shape a year from now. The House Select Committee investigating the January 6th Capitol insurrection has received 1.5 million communications from the Secret Service. An agency spokesperson says that in the last 2 weeks, it provided emails and planning documents from the lead up to the attack. This batch of records does not include the text messages lost to a data migration. Both the committee and the Homeland Security Inspector General are investigating why some Secret Service messages from January 5th and 6th went missing. CBS will air a special report on the next hearing right here on Channel 3 tomorrow at noon. You can watch this broadcast on TVW. The FDA is giving emergency use authorization to updated COVID boosters for kids as young as 5. Like the boosters that became available for people 12 and older in September, they target the original coronavirus strain and the Omicron BA4 and BA5 subvariants. The CDC must now recommend the shots to that age group before they can be administered. NASA has set a new launch attempt date for the Artemis 1 mission from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. The agency says it'll try on Monday, November 14th. The uncrewed mission is just the start of a program that aims to return people to the moon. Getting this first mission off the ground to test the rocket, spacecraft, and subsystems has been a trying endeavor. A series of issues, including a faulty sensor, a fuel leak, and severe weather, have caused NASA to abandon previous launches. There's more to come on News 3 Now at noon. The Biden administration gives a sneak peek of its student debt relief application, and one of the nation's biggest banks is branching out into cryptocurrency. It's all coming up in the Money Watch report.
You're watching News 3 Now at noon.
The women I see have been through brutal, unimaginable things. I'll never understand why politicians like Ron Johnson make it so hard for women. He supported the Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade, outlawing abortion in Wisconsin. Even for victims of rape and incest, abortion is criminalized in Wisconsin. Doctors can be prosecuted. My most vulnerable patients will have nowhere to turn. Ron Johnson doesn't care about us. SMP is responsible for the content of this ad.
It's dangerous up here, and it's no fun shopping around for a reputable contractor. I've built my company on the promise to treat our customers like we would our own family. That means an honest, no-pressure sales experience, expert craftsmanship, and a lifetime guarantee of our work. We know Gutter Shutter is the best system for you and your home, and we'd love to show you how it can keep you safe and off that ladder forever. So call us or visit us online to set up your free estimate, and we can show you what Gutter Shutter and the Larson Home Experience is all about.
No one goes all in on made-from-scratch freshness like Papa Murphy's. Because when you go all in, people notice. Go all in with the Triple Pet Pizza for just $11.99. Papa Murphy's. Change the way you pizza.
Volunteering offers more than benefits for those served. Volunteers reap health benefits from the time they give. RSVP of Dane County's Driver Services Program needs volunteers to provide rides to medical appointments and deliver meals to older adults in Dane County. Ideal candidates are of legal driving age, love to drive, and meet new people. Schedules are very flexible, and volunteer drivers will use their own vehicles and are reimbursed for mileage. To make a difference, please contact RSVP of Dane County today.
Hey, we're here at the local farmers market where Informed Choice Insurance Agency is offering fresh local Medicare. Hey, Joe, are you behind this whole check your zip code deal on national TV for extra Medicare benefits?
I don't know. Check your zip code.
Why would I check my zip code?
Because you're in it.
So we get a lot of calls about that guy. It's sad because your local Medicare plans already have those bells and whistles Joe promises.
Don't be fooled by national TV hype. When it comes to your Medicare options, keep it local with Informed Choice Insurance Agency, and their services are free.
Most senators couldn't tell you the cost of a gallon of milk. Thanks, Ruben. Or how much beef has gone up this year. But I'm not like most senators or any of the other millionaires running for Senate. My mom was a teacher and my dad worked third shift. I know how hard you work. And I know that by bringing manufacturing home, we create jobs and we lower costs. If we want to change Washington, we got to change the people we send there. I'm Mandela Barnes and I approve this message.
With fears of a recession on the rise, the International Monetary Fund has downgraded its world economic outlook for 2023. It now projects the global economy will grow just 2.7%, down from the 2.9% it estimated in July. It projects the U.S. economy will grow just 1% next year. The IMF listed Russia's war on Ukraine and chronic inflation among the reasons for its dimmer outlook. The Biden administration has released a sneak preview of its student debt relief application. A tweeted video shows two simple parts. One section is for basic borrower information, such as name and phone number, and the other section prompts the borrower to assert eligibility. About 95% of Americans with student debt could qualify for up to $20,000 in loan forgiveness. The application is expected to go live later this month in English and Spanish. One of the nation's biggest banks is branching out into cryptocurrency. The Bank of New York Mellon Corporation, also the oldest bank in the U.S., announced the launch of its digital asset custody platform Tuesday. It's the first major U.S. bank to allow select clients to hold and trade Bitcoin and Ether on the same platform as their traditional holdings. That's your CBS News Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Dan Lieberman.
Let's check Wall Street at the noon hour. The Dow Industrial's up 96 points. The NASDAQ down about 1.5. The S&P 500 up 8.5. Subway says sales are up, way up. The company is reporting that sales at stores open at least a year rose 8.4% in the third quarter. For the last 18 months, the company says it has record-setting sales across its 20,000 U.S. locations. This comes after Subway had its most extensive menu makeover in the company's nearly 60-year history. The Subway series is a more neatly organized menu divided into 4 categories. All right, Greg has a weather update for us. Greg?
Yeah, it looks like we actually do have a tornado that's been observed on the ground. This is in Walworth County. It's south of Highway 12, Highway 59 right now. It's associated with that line right there that has those few kinks that we talked about earlier right now, and it is pushing southeast pretty much at 45 miles per hour. So you can see that kink right there is north of Walworth. There's several of them right now, so that's what we're kind of eyeballing. The warning continues for another 30 minutes at least, and that line continues to push east. We did have a wind gust well north of the viewing area, but associated with that line, that was about 60 miles per hour. So in the meantime, as you're in that area, you are going to see some strong winds associated with that kind of squall line feature. And then that kink right there that we're seeing in Walworth County, that's where we've had an observed tornado actually do touch the ground. We don't have any more information on that right now, but we'll keep track of it and update as we need to.
It's officially out of our viewing area. So
that's correct. It is east of the area right now. So.
All right, but we'll check back if we need to, and we'll be back right after this.
Nothing beats a great night's sleep on a new Tempur-Pedic mattress from Steinhoffels. And right now, save $300 on Tempur-Pedic Breeze mattresses, starting at just $53 a month. The Tempur-Breeze uses next-generation cooling technology, allowing you to sleep up to 8 degrees cooler all night long. And you can rest easy when you take advantage of Steinhoffel's 60-month zero-interest financing. Isn't it time you got a great night's sleep? Relax, it's Steinhoffels.
My school does active shooter drills every few months. It's terrifying to think about.
Tim Michaels wants to allow teenagers my age to buy AR-15s with no waiting period.
It's a terrible idea.
It's a really bad idea.
And Michaels wants to allow people to bring loaded guns on our school grounds. And that's just not okay.
I don't want guns in my school. We shouldn't be making things worse.
Tim Michaels is just way too radical.
He's way too divisive.
Tim Michaels is wrong for Wisconsin.
Update your home with a fresh paint color from Menards. Dutch Boy Forever is an interior paint and primer in one with stain-blocking technology. It offers advanced washability and resists common household stains. Get a gallon of flat paint for only $30.98 after 11% rebate. Take advantage of our great selection of paint supplies to simplify your project. Frog Tape protects your paint projects from spatters and drips. Get 11% off all Frog Tape products.
Save big money at Menards.
Over 800 convicted criminals released. 270 murderers and attempted murderers released. 44 child rapists released. Tony Evers' parole commission has released hundreds of violent criminals early, including some of the worst killers in Wisconsin history. Evers' liberal policies are making our communities less safe. Tony Evers put criminals first and our family's safety last.
As political ads bombard you with campaign promises and claims to capture your vote, News 3 Now gives you a reality check, clarifying the candidates' messages and finding the facts to help you make informed choices. Reality Check, tonight on News 3 Now at 6.
Ooh, is it hot in here or is it just Tay Diggs? Do you consider yourself an actor, a singer?
Well, first handsome.
Plus, I'm taking on a 13-year-old track star.
On the next Jennifer Hudson Show at 3. The Farm Report is sponsored by Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
We'll get to the Farm Report in just a second, but first, Greg has another severe weather update.
Yeah, we continue to get some tornado reports. Actually, now we got one north of Burlington and those areas. Once again, this is out of our viewing area, but this whole line is progressing southeastward, and those little kinks in this line is where you're seeing some spin-ups of tornado activity. The main other feature with this line is the winds. You could see winds up to 60 miles per hour. There was a report further north of this line that had that, so I'm not going to be surprised if we see some more of that. This is all associated with a cold front. It is coming through, dropping the temperatures. This is a nice cold air mass behind this. This is just a piece of it. We'll have another cold air mass coming behind it too, but overall big picture shows as we push this line through, we're going to see more showers and thunderstorms developing this afternoon, and this will be the feature going on through tomorrow. And through Friday, we'll start to see a little bit of a change, but you can see this whole thing rotates through. We just see cloud cover, breezy conditions and showers and a few thunderstorms. And then we have Friday, we see another system that's going to come through. Once again, same pattern too with showers. So it's going to be a cool, chilly pattern, even snow, pockets of that up to the north, and even better shot if you get up to the UP too. So once we get rid of this activity with the line and the rainfall, we're going to see another line of showers developing with a secondary wave. That's ones could produce showers and maybe some gusty winds once again as it pushes east this afternoon, evening. We could see winds once again 35 to 40 miles per hour with it. Not a lot of thunderstorms with it, but it will be gusty winds. And then we'll see a break, and then overnight a few showers, but overnight we should be fairly quiet. Temperatures dropping back down with cloud cover, but still staying up just because of that. And then tomorrow we'll see another round of showers come through as even colder air mass comes down. That'll provide a lot of extensive cloud cover in the afternoon with spotty showers here and there. Once again, the winds will still be breezy out of the west, northwest at 10 to 15 or even 20. So it'll be still kind of a raw day. To see temperatures, we're going to be struggling to get up into the upper 40s to near 50 just because of the pattern. This will continue through tomorrow evening, and then we'll start clearing out for Friday. And once again, we'll have an opportunity for that. Winds, you can see we had one wind come through. Associated with these showers will be some gusty winds, 35, 40 miles per hour with that line that comes through this evening. Of course, with the front right now, we've seen winds up to 60 with those severe thunderstorms. So definitely the wind is the main thing to watch with any type of activity that we had. It will slowly decrease as we get towards Friday, but in the meantime, it's still going to be breezy each day. As you can see, the winds pick up. So extended 10-day, once we get rid of the rainfall tomorrow, Friday looks okay with a shower late in the day. Temperature's still struggling to get up towards 50. And then after that, we have that even colder air mass for the weekend. So we may struggle to get to the low to mid 40s by the time we get to Monday, which is more like November weather, and then slowly modifying towards the middle of next week. But in the meantime, if you're east of the viewing area towards Milwaukee, you're going to have that showers and thunderstorms, a severe line that could come through with some strong, severe winds and some embedded tornadoes, so stay tuned for that. Otherwise, the rest of us, we're going to see more showers this afternoon and evening with some gusty winds. So definitely a change from what we had last week.
Tornadoes can happen in the fall, too.
They can happen pretty much anytime.
Anytime, yeah, absolutely.
Yes, they can.
It's kind of unusual, but that's what it is.
That's what it is, yeah.
Thank you. Pam Yankee from the Midwest Farm Report out of the radio barn today. She's on vacation. She'll be back next week. Here are your farm numbers. Painters wouldn't dream of destroying their own masterpieces, but that's exactly what a British artist is doing as part of an extravagant experiment, as CBS's Ian Lee reports from London.
This one's called Understanding Everything.
Artist Damien Hurst shows off one of his famous spot paintings before tossing it into a fire at a London art gallery. His unusual flame-filled performance drew a crowd and plenty of questions, too.
I'm not burning my art, I'm transforming it.
Transforming it into an NFT, a non-fungible token, a digital copy of the artwork that will live forever.
But I think this has to be part of the process to create truly digital artworks, is to destroy the physical artwork, because the two can't exist at the same time.
Hurst gave collectors of his 10,000 pieces of art a choice: keep the NFT or take home a physical copy.
NFTs are too new for me. Whereas having something I can hold, I prefer that.
About half of the buyers, including Kyle Johns, chose the NFT, sending his painting up in smoke.
It's such a unique idea to bring into the art world.
What did you think, though, about him destroying the actual painting?
It's not destroying, it was cementing the fact that it's only going to be an NFT.
But destroying or transforming, whatever you want to call it, is not easy for the artist.
The better the title, the harder it is to burn it. This one's called All Love.
This bizarre experiment was all meant to test the value of physical art versus digital.
And which is worth more, I still don't know. And which is better, I still don't know.
Creating a heated debate for collectors in the digital age. Ian Lee, CBS News, London.
And collectors estimate the works being burned are worth about $11 million. There's more to come on News 3 Now at noon. Up next, we'll see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
It's apple season, and we're baking up an Applicious treat that is worthy of a blue ribbon.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Don't like paying taxes? Neither does Mandela Barnes. Barnes didn't pay thousands in property taxes he owed. Barnes failed to pay his taxes, but he wants you to pay more. He supported raising Wisconsin's gas tax nearly 30%, even though we already pay some of the highest gas taxes in the country. And he supported $1 billion tax increase on Wisconsin families and an income tax as high as 70%. Mandela Barnes, another tax-raising, hypocritical politician. Senate Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Have you ever experienced this view? Hi, Andrew Larson here. With Gutter Shutter, you'll never have to experience it again. Please give up this dangerous chore and protect your home's foundation with Gutter Shutter, the strongest, most durable, maintenance-free gutter on the market. Over the past 15 years, my team has installed thousands of maintenance-free gutter systems across South Central Wisconsin. We'd love to come out and show you what Gutter Shutter can do for you and your home, but most importantly, keep you safe and off that ladder. So call today for a free estimate.
Precision engineering, rigorous attention to detail. A Bryant Evolution heating system is so well designed, it's as much of a joy to install as it is to use.
Good to go.
Bryant, whatever it takes.
In Madison, contact Heating and Cooling Incorporated to maximize your comfort and energy savings, whatever the season.
Memories matter. This bend on Cox Hollow Lake was one of Dad's favorite fishing holes. Crest Funeral and Cremation Service helped us make sure he's never forgotten. Making it personal. It's how you heal. We are Crest. We truly believe your memories matter.
I'm Sheriff Jim Johnson.
I'm Sheriff Eric Severson.
We've got the real story on Mandela Barnes.
Barnes wants to defund our police, but he spent over $600,000 of your money on police protection for himself.
Barnes wants to eliminate bail for violent felons, and his administration has already released over 800 criminals, including 44 child rapists.
Take it from us.
Mandela Barnes policies are a threat to your family.
I'm Ron Johnson, and I approve this message.
It's apple season, and that means our markets and farm stands are brimming with all sorts of freshly picked apples. And right now, they're at some pretty good prices. So besides eating them as is, we came up with an apple shortbread bar that I can only describe as, well, how about appleicious? To make the shortbread crust, we beat together some butter, sugar, and a little vanilla. Once it's creamy, we add some flour and a bit of salt. This gets pressed into the bottom of an 8-inch square baking dish, and it gets baked for just a few minutes. While that's in the oven, we toss peeled and sliced apples with some sugar, flour, cinnamon, and a little nutmeg. On top of our baked crust goes a crumb mixture that we made by combining some brown sugar with flour and butter. The apples go over that before finishing it off with more of the crumb topping, and then we pop it back into the oven. Once it cools, it's ready to serve. Imagine the combo of the best apple pie and a really decadent apple cobbler served on a shortbread crust. To get the recipe for what we call our apple cobbler shortbread squares, simply visit our website. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a fresh from the orchard way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
And Greg has one final look of the severe weather east of us.
Yeah, pretty much the line continues east. The background there is Platteville, what we'll kind of be enjoying this afternoon once we get rid of some of the shower. But right now the concern is really this line. You can see this is velocity showing that line that's producing almost 60-mile-per-hour winds. We've seen a couple reports of that, and now it looks like that confirmed tornado. If you zoom in, that kink really around Burlington is the thing that's really been noticeable. And this whole line's progressing eastward, so that's what we're going to expect. Otherwise, for this afternoon, for most of us, we should see another line of showers and thunderstorms come through maybe this afternoon, this evening. That's what we're going to be seeing. And then chilly temperatures and then breezy conditions, especially through Sunday. So it definitely will be an area the time of the day, the next couple days to be inside.
All right, big changes coming. We'll keep an eye on things and come back on the air if we need to. That's our report for now. We'll see you back here at 4 o'clock. In the meantime, have a great afternoon.